Okay, so as I recall, the three of us, we were all relatively green in comedy, and we had this show together in Florida. My wife came along. We were in a restaurant, and Johnny mentioned how you told him that the first joke you ever told him was
the first joke he ever wrote as a kid.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Please let me tell this because he told me that I could. And so he said that the first joke he ever wrote was to say something and then go, and I don't want to even do it, to do this thing that's going to happen. It's not going to be as funny if I do it because nobody can do it like Marty. So then he did it. Okay, he's talking to the waitress in the restaurant, and by now we're all tickled because first of all, it's not a joke. What he's about to do, people, if you're in comedy or not in comedy, is absolutely not a joke. It's not a thing he's going to do. It's okay, you'll see. So anyway,
agree to disagree.
He decides, don't, because I'm going. And so then
albino.
So you're an albino. And so then he does this thing to the waitress who's like thoroughly confused, and Johnny and I get tickled pretty heavily, like more than you do in watching like someone tell jokes.
Can we pause and say I did this thing verbally to the waitress? I didn't do this thing to the waitress. I said things to the waitress. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So I can't deal with. Okay, so anyway, so that night we have the show. The three of us have a show together, and it's like a little ill-attended. It's a weekday show, so it's not a huge crowd. The show's going okay under the circumstances, but Marty has committed to Johnny and I that he will do this thing in the show, which again is not a joke and does not make any sense. It's just a quick little like thing that he does. So Johnny and I, we're watching these jokes. Of course, they're fine, but we're waiting for him to do the thing. So he does the thing, and the crowd doesn't know how to respond because it's not a thing. And Johnny and I went bananas. We went bananas, Marty. I don't know. You had to hear us because we laughed way longer and louder than all the rest of the crowd combined. And it was so funny. Like I don't know if I've laughed at any joke in my life as hard as I laughed at this thing that happened that night.
My favorite part was Leslie, who was running the challenge, being so. She goes, "What is he doing?"
Well, first of all, it wasn't the challenge. Leslie took the three of us down to Coconuts Comedy Club, the legendary Coconuts in St. Pete Beach. So we were actually the feature, middle, and MC for Leslie, and we. For whatever reason, we would do 10 or 12 minutes each. Then Leslie would do a half hour, and then we would do 10 or 12 minutes each after that, and then Leslie would close. It was like a big variety show. It was actually pretty great. And that night, there was probably 20, 25 people. And I won't lie, the reason I was willing to do it that night is because I had such a bad night the night before. I was like, I don't even care. I'd rather just cut up with my friends and do this weird thing. But then I was having a great set, like a normal 7 or 8 minutes into this set. I was doing great, right? Like I want, like, if Johnny, do you back me up on that? Like I didn't do this because I was bombing.
You weren't bombing. You were doing fine. You were doing good.
Right. And so then I just got to laugh, and I remember thinking like, oh, I told my buddies I was going to do the thing that I did at the restaurant, and we have a video of it here. So let's put that video up there, the Schmidt video.
So here we go.
That's an option? Because once you do that, you're addicted to it. That is like crack. Schmidt! So I kept going because we had part of it was we couldn't acknowledge it.
Don't you go back to it too?
Oh yeah, no, the video's not over.
Okay.
I went back to it a few times.
Parent. I still am a horrible parent. I have 2 kids, 11 and 8. Oh, right.
So I had to proceed without acknowledging it, but these ladies called me Johnny right there, which you couldn't hear. So like I had to like address that, and then the Schmidt makes its way back around.
Line right here. And Johnny W.'s phone number for her. Because evidently she hasn't even noticed that he's left the stage yet. I feel great about myself.
So now 3 or 4 more minutes go by, and I'm doing great. Then I get heckled by this drunk lady.
Y'all okay with that? We're good. I played basketball in high school. I'm just going to box her out for my set. Is that all right? Going to keep her off the boards here. Here. Wow. I was thinking I might just... All right, let's come out of left field and get personal, shall we?
And that wasn't enough. I had to keep going back. 7 minutes later, my 12-minute set.
The ask is, when's the last time your kid mowed my lawn? Just wanted to work it out with her there. She's like, I caught you raised dad. That makes that poker player reference make sense. Shit. All right. So we get off this roller coaster and we get back to the hotel.
What is that? What? You did it for so long. You did it for so long. You just look at your hand. What were they thinking about you? What must they have thought about you?
Is that video online, like a listed clip, Marty?
No.
Oh, okay.
That video with the graphics on it was
needs
was
so
made
much
today.
context. That's the hard part of it. Flip like that.
That video is going to live in infamy in this show, in this episode of this show. So let me just also shout out, if Will Hall is still in the audience, William Hall is the impetus of this joke. And so when I told y'all at the restaurant, the funniest thing that my good friend from childhood would do, William would like shake his hand and look at it, and then he just did like the thing. Like, and I think it was sort of back in the 80s. I'm not sure if he was having like a mental breakdown or a flashback or something. I'm not sure what we were wrongly, politically incorrectly making fun of at that point in the 80s, but I just always thought it was funny. And so my version of it became like, y'all need to keep moving so they know we're not buffering. But I did that to the waitress. I was explaining it, and Claiborne and Johnny looked at me like, What are you talking about, Marty? You said this is your favorite joke you ever wrote. And I was giddy like a child. Like, I've thought of something amazing to do tonight in the show. I can't believe I'm going to do this. This is going to be so fun. Watch me do this to the waitress. And then she came by, and I was like, I'll have the steak biscuits. And
she didn't laugh at all, by the way.
No,
she didn't
did
think
not.
it was funny. Oh, man.
the key is
She
you
was
have
not
to
a
hold
fan.
it. You have to hold it longer than
You gotta commit.
Yeah, you
commit
gotta
to
lean in. So I don't know if we can get to it, but you can hear Leslie in that clip while I think it's the second to the last time say from the back, "What is he doing? What does it mean?"
Why would he? This is a show.
Oh man! But I had people after the show walking up to me going, and I was just like, okay. And I've only ever done it once or twice since, and I always feel like I should do it whenever I'm with Claiborne and Johnny at the same place at the same show, just because